When you find yourself in a situation where going against what you believe in is the better option, what do? Do you abandon your beliefs for the short-term benefit while not knowing what the long-term implications are and how it might affect everything and everyone moving forward? Or do you stand firm with your beliefs and take whatever challenge head on and possibly lose everything but maintain your integrity and honor? These are some of the questions that Ghost of Tsushima was asking of me. I've just finished the game for the first time, and for those of you who don't know anything about this game, it's an award-winning action-adventure game with role-playing elements designed by Sucker Punch. The original game came out back on the PS4 in 2020 and was ported to the PS5 just over a year later. And today, I wanted to speak about the entirety of its design and share some thoughts and opinions with you. And you know the drill already. If you are new here, my name is Gemma, and thank you very much for watching so far. If you like content around video game reviews, news and discussions, please subscribe to the channel. It means a lot. Thanks a bunch. Now, the story begins with the island of Tsushima being invaded by the Mongol Empire being led by Khotun Khan. Khan is a ruthless general who will use any manner of tactics to gain control of the island of Tsushima. During this invasion, Lord Shimura, the Lord of Tsushima, is captured by the Mongols, and the main protagonist Jin Sakai appears to be defeated on the battlefield until he is saved by Yuna, a thief who was looting the battlefield for supplies, and this is the first step towards Jin becoming the Ghost. During the first hour, Jin and Yuna work together to evade the Mongol army as Jin is trying to find a way to save his uncle, Lord Shimura. Jin finds himself in a situation where he is conflicted. Samurai have a code, which is to fight with honor. Jin does not want to break this code, but he begins to use methods which are otherwise deemed as dishonorable. But in doing so, he overcomes battles which could have ended differently if he remained true to honor and tradition. Jin's goal is to save his uncle, defeat General Khan, drive away the Mongol invaders, and save the people of Tsushima by any means necessary. Now, when Jin was younger, he struggled with the emotions after the death of his father. He'd already lost his mother at a young age to illness, so Jin was taken in by his uncle, Lord Shimura, who is now a father-like figure to him. He also teaches Jin the way of the samurai, how to control his emotions, how to be honorable, and the samurai code. This is a wonderfully crafted tale about honor, hypocrisy, and morality, with so many fascinating characters with their own goals and motivations for wanting to defeat the Mongols and how it should be done. Jin is a stoic and polite character in the early hours of the game. As the game progresses, certain events happen which leads to Jin giving into his emotions and pushing him to the line of breaking the code. Yuna is the deuteragonist in this story. As a thief, she is viewed as someone without honor. You will learn about Yuna, her brother Taka, and the difficult life they had to endure. Everything Yuna does is to save money so she can pay for her and Taka to move to the mainland for a better life. Lord Shimura is the protagonist of this story. He will live and die by the samurai code. He is a wise and caring and honourable man. But as the story progresses, you will see Lord Shimura make decisions that are questionable and gives reason as to why Jin's decisions are vital for the survival of the people of Tsushima.
We face our enemy head on. And when we take their life, we look them in the eye with courage and respect. This is what makes us samurai.
Let's talk about the quest and activities, as there are a lot of different things to do on the island of Tsushima. You will be familiar with some of them as they are your typical open world activities. However, as this is a brand new IP, everything I experienced felt fresh and unique due to its setting, history and gameplay. Besides Jin's journey, you have tells, which are essentially side quests. There are regular tells which you can come across after freeing an area or village from Mongols or from saving people in need on your travels. And you have tells from important characters that you'll meet on your journey, such as Yuna and Kenji. Completing tells will increase your legend status, as well as being able to acquire new abilities and resources such as gold and leather. You can also acquire new charm. Mythic tales follow a story of legend and involves some sort of exploration during the quest. The Way of the Flame had me climbing a mountain which is so cold you take damage if you do not reach a campfire between different areas of the mountain in time. A mythic tale can reward you with legendary abilities, weapons and armor. Inari shrines are hidden locations scattered around the island that can be located by following a fox. You'll come across fox dens where a fox will be waiting to lead you to these shrines. Once you reach the shrine, you'll honor it and Jin will be rewarded with a section to build a charm slot. Haiku is a form of Japanese poetry with a focus of writing about serious topics by referencing metaphors from your surroundings. Completing a haiku rewards Jin with a headband, which is only really for cosmetic purposes. Hot springs are locations where Jin can take a quick soak and reflect on events. Jin's maximum health pool will slightly increase for each hot spring that he visits. Hot springs are also scattered around the island and the yellow songbird can lead you to the locations of them. Shinto shrines are locations which involve platforming as they are usually difficult to get to. They are like small puzzle platform sections that you find in games like Uncharted or the latest Tomb Raider games. Once you reach the shrine, Jin will honour it and will be rewarded with a charm. Bamboo strikes is where Jin must cut through bamboo poles where you press a specific button combination. This is a minigame which relies on memory and speed, which I have none of the former. Bamboo strikes go towards increasing Jin's maximum resolve. You'll find Mongol territory locations all across the island of Tsushima, sort of like outposts in a Far Cry game. Each territory has optional challenges which gives you an extra boost to your legend status if completed. Once you complete a territory, you'll be provided with rewards and that area can become a fast travel point. Some of the locations are villages which will give you access to different services like an armourer or a merchant. Now, there are 6 farmlands that contain a key for a mythic tale. Once you've collected all 6 keys, you can unlock a legendary armor set. So there's a great incentive to freeing farmlands from the Mongol invaders. Let's take a look at some of the gameplay mechanics. Resolve is a meter based on the strength of Jin Sakai as a warrior. By defeating enemies, parrying attacks or using advanced skills, Jin can gain resolve. To be able to use Resolve, you must have at least one full circle as you can see here. Resolve is used to heal Jin as well as being able to use certain abilities. One of the abilities I unlocked is if I fall in battle, I can use 2 Resolve to get straight back into the fight, giving me a second chance to defeat the remaining enemies. Charms are an item that can be slotted to provide Jin with benefits in and out of combat. They fall into 5 categories, which are melee, range, stealth, defensive and utility. An example of a charm that I have been using is a defensive charm which restores a moderate amount of health after defeating an enemy. There are a lot of charms to choose from to vary and complement your playstyle. Like, if you prefer to use bows, there is a charm that adds a 15% chance to poison enemies with arrows. Now, to travel around the island of Tsushima, you choose a horse at the start of the game which can be called upon at any time. You get to choose a name for the horse, which is quite cool. I named mine Kage. If you think you know why I named my horse Kage, let me know in the comment section below. When traveling the island, you'll need to set a waypoint on your map to reach your intended destination like any other game. As you can see, there is no minimap. There is no compass bar, markers or arrows along the ground to show you how to get to your destination. Instead, you are guided by the wind which flows towards the direction of your destination. This mechanic is one I hope to see more iterations of for the future of open world games. This frees up the screen, giving the player a more cinematic experience. As you progress through the game, there becomes an emphasis on stealth. Majority of the time you are free to handle situations however you please, whether it is a stealth approach or if you tackle your enemies head on. I usually take the stealth approach as it gives me that shinobi type vibe. And so that was the type of playstyle I geared my equipment around. Every activity that you complete contributes to growing your legend. Growing your legend unlocks technique points which can be used to unlock, you guessed it, new techniques. There are 3 sections that you can use technique points for: Samurai, Stances and Ghost. Samurai has 3 subcategories that you use tech points for: Deflection and evasion are defensive techniques to improve your parrying and dodging skills. There are some great early game skills that were essential to my playstyle, like the perfect healing parry and the dodging slash. The exploration section is for the guiding wing to locate mind, body and spirit locations like the hot springs, shrines and bamboo strikes. The mythic skills are unlocked by completing mythic tales. I only came across the Way of the Flame late into my playthrough, so it didn't really contribute to my playstyle. You'll also unlock the longbow through mythic tales, which is slower but more powerful than the half-bow. Now let's take a look at stances, as these are important for your attacking capabilities. Each stance is effective against a certain type of enemy. For example, the stone stance is effective against enemies with swords, and the water stance is effective against enemies with shields. And this is what effectively will make the game easier and more difficult at the same time. Easier in the sense that you have options to break guards of each enemy type. However, there are a lot of gear and weapons that can be used in this game, and at times it can get confusing with all the different button combinations. It took me a while to understand, and I did mix up the buttons on a few occasions. The issues I were experiencing was switching between my ranged and quickfire tools and remembering where they were, so I tried to stick to one or two at a time. But when you perfect the stances, the combat is so satisfying. I really do love the complexity of the combat, as it keeps me engaged. You cannot take too many hits or you will fall in battle, so it becomes this strategic encounter where I watch my enemies' moves to dodge and parry before I strike. You unlock new stances by observing or defeating Mongol leaders, which you will find throughout the story and in areas the Mongols have taken over, such as villages and farms. In the ghost section, there are two subcategories. Ghost weapons are unlocked as your legend grows, and you get to pick a quickfire item to aid you in combat. Tech points are then used to upgrade that item and its abilities further. The first ghost weapon I unlocked was the kunai, simply because I wanted to roleplay as a shinobi. The upgrades to the kunai are to throw an additional projectile and deal more damage. The kunai became my favourite quickfire tool, as it instantly breaks guards, meaning I can inflict damage to enemies quicker, as well as being able to eliminate enemies instantly. Evolving tactics are abilities that you can unlock throughout Jin's journey and can be further upgraded using tech points. There are many great abilities to invest points in, like concentration, which slows time while aiming your bow, and chain assassination, which allows you to eliminate two enemies at once when you approach them from behind. Finally, there is the ghost stance, which is unlocked later in the game. You have to eliminate a certain amount of enemies without taking any damage to be able to activate it. Once activated, enemies won't attack you, they cower in fear. And you can instantly eliminate up to 3 enemies with this ability. Once I reached this ability, the game difficulty felt like it got way easier, as the armor you wear reduces the requirement to activate the skill, and enemies have a chance to flee in fear after takedowns. I love the look of this armor as well, so I don't want to change it, but at the same time, it's taken a bit of the challenge away from me. There are many options for customization and upgrading your gear. Once you free certain locations around the island of Tsushima, you gain access to services. There is no money in this game. Instead, you collect supplies, which is used like a currency to trade for upgrades and purchasing resources from a trapper. Supplies can be found all over the island. You'll find them scattered around every location you visit, which can be a little bit annoying, but it makes sense for the setting of this game. Supplies are not the only item required to upgrade your weapons and gear, as you will need resources. There are different types of resources needed for each piece of gear. For example, swords require supplies, iron, steel and gold, whereas bows require bamboo, yew wood and waxwood. The merchant uses flowers as its currency and will trade for cosmetic items such as different dyes for your armor, hats and sword kits. The trapper is used to upgrade the capacity of your range and quickfire weapons, such as carrying more arrows, kunai and smoke bombs. The people that Jin has helped on his journey leave gifts for him at the gift altar. These gifts usually contain resources and a different type of mask. So, My overall verdict for Ghost of Tsushima is that it's such a breath of fresh air. In an age where we get open world games left, right and centre with the same overused tropes, I didn't feel any open world fatigue with this game. As soon as I completed an activity, there was always something that I wanted to do and it kept me intrigued. I didn't feel at any point that I was experiencing any filler, and it's because the developers crafted many great systems and mechanics. The guiding wind and the animals and birds to help you find new locations is a brilliant take on exploration and navigation. The island of Tsushima and the characters have had the attention and care needed to create such a compelling story. And I haven't even mentioned how gorgeous this game looks. I played on performance mode as I do with all my games, but even still, this game looks stunning. I didn't experience any glitches or performance issues either. The combat is complicated, maybe too complicated for some, but I love it due to that complexity and how engaging it is. I cannot wait to hop back in, finish the side quests and play the expansion. Ghost of Tsushima is one of the best PlayStation exclusives out there, and I cannot wait to see what Sucker Punch has next up their sleeves. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think of Ghost of Tsushima? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you for sticking around for this one. As always, my name is Jammer. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you don't already, follow me on Instagram and Twitter where my handle is Jammer the Gamer. For now, take care and I will speak to you again soon. Peace.